had to get 3 woos in there. The Buccaneers win 3 in a row, 34-20 over the Packers. We're excited here on a Monday. Plus is still probably coming back from Green Bay itself. Excited, probably drunk, probably not knowing where he's at, getting drug around. But I'm here, Mark, your host, with none other than Gene Thomas with Buck What You Heard. Literally, he's the one that got us in the game of podcasting and YouTube, all this stuff. So he's the originator pretty much of where Bucs Talk was an idea, and then he pushed it forward. But I'm blessed to have him part of the show today to go over this winning streak now. So Gene, take the helm. What do you think about this? Buccaneers win 3 in a row.
That was a really balanced game. I mean, we haven't seen this complete a game, I don't think, this season, where special teams, offense and defense, everybody contributed to towards this win. And this was by far one of the better games that I've watched. Even coaching. I mean, I can even say that coaching is another big part of it. I looked at Todd Bowles I believe he used all of his timeouts in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, so some of them I laughed because one of them was to prevent too many men on the field. Like last game, it was 10 people on the field.
Yeah.
9 people on the field. And then this time he's like, oh, wait, let me just take a timeout so they don't do that again to me. So I thought that was kind of funny, but he didn't really need to use it, but he did it.
Yeah. You know, what's great about it is this was just a balance. I mean, we talk about offense. The offense has been the biggest head scratcher this season, and it looks like, you know, they're finally bringing together. And this was just the game to do it at Lambeau Field. And, you know, the weather was colder than what the Bucs are used to, and, you know, they went out and performed. The one thing I will say, I mean, when you think about it, I think there were 26 runs versus 28 passes or something wild like that.
Not that. But, I'll bring it up. Keep going.
Yeah. So, I mean, they got it really balanced. Time of possession was really good. I mean, they were right at 30 minutes, or almost at 30 minutes, you know, just time of possession. I mean, it was a very well played game. And the one thing that I will say is the Bucs executed on offense. And the problem that a lot of people have had with Dave Canales is sometimes you'll get a 3 and out, and you know, everybody's complaining about the play calling, and there have been times where it's just been bad execution.
Yeah.
Wide receiver drops the ball, there's a penalty here that just kills the momentum of a drive, and you saw what he can put together, you know, when everybody's executing like they're supposed to. Rashad White, it was just mind-blowing how many people at the beginning of the season were so upset with Rashad White, not realizing that this is basically his rookie season. Leonard Fournette got all the touches last year. You got this guy coming in, learning a new offense, and where he's progressed to right now, I am so happy. You know, shout out to Jason Light for, you know, the draft picks that he's been able to hit on. So I'm super excited to see, you know, it went good or bad, to see what this team finishes up with for the rest of the season.
I mean, they're getting hot at the right time. I mean, this comes after, I was joking with Plus earlier, that it's like a game, like a week after I put out a video about Baker not hitting the timing routes, not seeing it fast enough, holding the ball too long, and then he does something like this. A perfect rating in Lambeau Field, 4 touchdowns, almost 400 damn yards, lighting up the damn stat sheet. And this is the Baker freaking Mayfield. I wanted to say the true word that I always want to say.
Yeah. You're not on my show. You can't.
It matters how many drinks you've had. But yeah, like this is a performance that we're all waiting for it to happen, right?
Yeah.
And then the times he was holding the ball long enough, he didn't choke besides one damn time. And I was so pissed. We are so bad when we're backed up in our own end zone. Like that's an area where we still need to fix big time moving forward. Like Baker, I know he's holding on, looking for that big play, but when you're in that close of getting the other team to score, get a safety, just get rid of it early, quick. If it's not the first read's out there, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Something he needs to learn. But overall, the damn man was hitting everything with timing. Like nothing was really, when he doesn't hold it longer than like 3 or 4 seconds, he's perfectly fine. It's when he tries to do too much. That was one hell of a performance. I mean, what can you say about a perfect rating?
Oh, you can't.
On the road, right? You can't say anything better. And then he's doing his dance moves after touchdowns. That's the stuff that I wanted to see in a Buccaneer uniform. And it's about damn time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he's what were they saying? He's the uh only quarterback to ever get a perfect reading at perfect passer rating in at Lambeau Field.
I think it was one of two, him and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Like,
Aaron Rodgers is the
what?
quarterback.
Yeah,
You would
right,
hope that
right,
you would
but
hope that he would get one.
right, but that's pretty insane to do that, right? But either way, like this is the Baker you all wanted to see, but this is the thing, like, can he be consistent with it?
Yeah,
That's the
that's
scary
the
part about
question.
it. Because I mean,
That's
they did have banged up secondary. They didn't start Savage. Jair Alexander wasn't in there, so they had I think it was a seventh round rookie guarding Mike Evans at some points. He got a flag based off of that moving possession. So yes, against a banged up secondary, okay, cool. But can we continue to build on this?
yeah,
Also, like you were just mentioning, the coaching wise, Canales finally using Chris Godwin in screens. He had one all season, and I think he did two in this game. So he just doubled down, right? And then 10
yeah,
catches, 155 yards, finally opening up with him to get the ball to other places. Because if you think about it, everyone's always going to double Mike. And then if
mhm,
you start seeing the second guy open up, then you have to worry about everyone else. So finally using those correctly, and then like you mentioned, Rashad White in the passing game. I feel like he should always get at least one screen or one downfield pass a game because it's always going to be productive. He's so consistent.
yeah. Speed and space, man, and I love that about him. And you know what? You kind of go back to Ronald Jones and remember how painful it was to watch when you throw a screen pass to him, but just the fluid motion that Rashad White has when he's catching the ball and moving upfield. I love this kid so much and what he's doing. And he's never like getting frustrated. He just continues to work and continue to you know contribute wherever he can. So he's definitely somebody I think next year is going to be interesting to see, what he starts out and finishes with. But this season, there's still a couple more games to be played. There's a lot that can happen. I mean, who knows? Chris Godwin could get 1,000 yards. You never know.
Yeah, I think he's only like 180 yards away. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
from
yeah,
1,000 yards.
he's at 814.
Yeah, so like you're gonna have potentially 2,000-yard receivers. Hopefully, let's see if Rashad White can. I think he needs what, two more 100-yard games. He's pretty close to it
Yeah,
too. So I mean, it's very much possible that cumulatively this offense looks like it's a lot better than last year. First of all, yes, there's been sputtering, but this is your first year in the offense. Like you just mentioned with Rashad White,
yeah,
he's a
834.
rookie, right? He was a rookie last year,
Mm.
learning a new system. This is his second year in the league. He's gonna have to learn a whole other new system, but it's tailored to him, and he had to learn this whole new running scheme. So
Yeah.
you got to give him credit for learning on the go like this.
Yeah, and you got to consider too, Leonard Fournette was your main running back last year. I mean,
Yeah,
he didn't get near the touches that he should have gotten, but they started giving him more at towards the end of the season. But you know, kind
yeah.
of it is what it is.
A lot of it, and that's another huge talking point I wanted to mention. So a lot of last year was playing favorites, doing whatever for Tom to keep him happy, getting the guys like Fournette the ball, just trying to keep those, like even Julio Jones. That was like a Tom Brady pick. Like, oh, let's bring him in. I know he's a really good player. Bring him in instead of letting the young guys play. So to me, a lot of huge coaching changes of Todd Bowles. I know we're going to bring this up, the Devin White situation.
Oh yeah,
We don't know what the hell it truly is, but realistically, Rick Stroud seems like he knows what he's talking about the most, saying that it was a healthy scratch because someone said that he wasn't going to start. Devin White wasn't going to start, so he said, "Oh, no, fine, then I'm not going to play. My foot hurts." That's what it sounds like it is, but Todd Bowles gives it a little different narrative. Oh, well, no, he was hurt. He didn't want to. He couldn't play, so I just sat him. And then he gave the comment of, "Oh, well, maybe when he's healthy, we'll do subbing in and out." I'm like, "What the hell's this shit?
yeah,
Take the Band-Aid off and call it how it is." Like that's what a leader is supposed to do, especially a leader of men. Make
mm.
it well. He's not on there. We have KJ Britt starting. That's all you got to worry about. That's it. Don't keep the saga and questions going on. KJ Britt's our starter. Devin White's hurt. We'll see what happens when he's ready to play. That's all.
I will say it's been an addition by subtraction. I'm happy with what the
100%.
linebackers are doing right now.
100%.
Whatever Devin does is what he does.
And as another thing, Plus and I, cockily or just stubbornly, we were just against the pick, top 5 pick. You don't take an off-ball linebacker. So many people were saying, "Oh, he's going to be a gold jacket type guy. Have you seen what he could do?" Yes, and that was our whole thing.
but it wasn't consistent.
Yeah, but it wasn't even. He was consistent moving downhill. He couldn't go backwards. I kept saying, you can go a million miles an hour the wrong way, and then you got to go 1,000,002 miles an hour back the other way because you messed up, right? So
Exactly.
To me, like it was between the ears. Like, can he? Same thing with that Jameis Winston kind of thing.
Yeah,
He had to
check up from the neck up.
Yeah, like Devontae David, he has all that. We're hoping, based off of being next to him, learning the system. That I would I said it to Plus. There were so many games last year that I always see the Facebook highlights. White's just the wrong way or not giving effort, especially the Ravens game from last year. We all remember that. But there was just I agree fully with you. It's not push on it, addition by subtraction, 100%.
You know, he's reminiscent of times where Kwan Alexander used to go rogue. Yeah. He knows you've got an assignment, you're supposed to do your job, and you're off doing something else. And there have been times where I've seen that from him. And again, I'm not knocking anything about him, but there is no way I could give that guy a max contract. No way. I wouldn't even consider it, you know. And I'm going to be curious to see how much he makes. Somebody's going to overpay for him. I can tell you that, but it won't be the Bucs.
No, I mean, think about what he was going to ask for, like 25 million, 100 million guaranteed. And we were the first. We're like, what? No. What is he? Yes, if he's an edge rusher, maybe, but we've never seen that in that capacity. Like a few weeks ago, we're saying this, use him like how they used James Harrison, same body type, thicker, stockier builds, muscle bound, just freaking use him that way. If anything, but we don't know what he can do because he's never truly been used that way. And even he said it on a podcast. Like he's like, I can play the Micah Parsons role. Like, yeah, maybe you should be playing the Micah Parsons role because sometimes I'm watching tape, you're spinning in the middle of the field like a damn ballerina. Like I don't want to see that. So I mean, that drama hopefully ends soon. Where Todd Bowles says, "Okay, listen, this is my team, this is my decision, this is what I'm doing." And when I heard that, I saw it, I was like, "Plus, holy shit." Todd Bowles really wants his job. We're going to win this game based off Devin White not playing. What do you know? 3-0 without Devin White. I mean, it's telling though.
Yeah.
I mean,
very.
What else can you say? Like the defense didn't give up massively bad plays. A lot of it was just secondary, like the receivers getting open late. The touchdown that Jordan Love had in the back corner of the end zone. Like pressure got there. He steps up, makes one.
That was just a filthy throw right there. There was nothing. Nobody could have done anything about that.
It's frustrating because we're right there, and then all of a sudden you're like, shit. And the guy gets barely 2 feet in. I'm like, damn. But, but realistically, if you think about it, if Baker doesn't fumble the ball at the 2 damn yard line and they score a touchdown there, this game could have been 13-34, a blowout.
Yeah.
Just in Lambeau Field. Like, and that's huge. And the defense, they got hung out to dry there because of that fumble that's not complimentary football in that red zone. So, I mean, to me, the defense did what they had to do. I mean, they lock up in the red zone between the 20s. Yeah, they need to get a little bit better, but they're doing what they need to do. Lock up when they need to, only allowing 3 instead of 7 majority of the time. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
Man, I'm going to say this. You have to watch this game like 4 times because I'm sitting here. I'm focused on Levante David, and then I see Antoine Winfield make a play, and I'm like focused on Antoine Winfield. Kalijah Cansey is playing. You got to focus on him. And you kind of have to, like, each individual player, you have to go back and look at their play in order to really get a full understanding of the game.
Who's messing up, right?
But you see what I mean? I mean, when you think about it, because, man, Levante David had an amazing game, monster game. And then you look at Antoine Winfield Jr., who I hope they're negotiating this contract right now.
That's not a worry in my mind. They're going to lock him up. But Joel Reekin, let's give him one of those. Shout out to Real Bucs Talk. The way y'all break down has really helped me really understand football better. It helped when I was in Atlanta to see them win. Go Bucs, keep up the great work. Hell yeah, we are. I mean, this is fun, especially when you're winning. It's even more fun. But I always say this, like, you learn so much more from the losses than you do the wins.
Absolutely.
You see the areas of weakness that your team has. And if they just fix those little things, how much better they can be. Yeah. And like we just said, a lot of it with Baker was timing. A lot of these concepts get open. He just has to hit it with timing. And that's a quarterback thing that you need to do. Plus, always says just make the simple play. You don't have to make anything heroic.
Yep.
And
And on top of that, you have to the wide receivers, the balls are hitting their hands. You got to catch it.
yep.
I mean, that's what you're getting paid for. You have to get out there and make those plays. And there have been times where the plays have been drawn up and it's a drop pass, or you get a large gain and you have to come back because somebody was holding.
Yep.
And the timing of the penalties. I don't mind penalties. It's just if it's a drive killing penalty, then that's frustrating. But there have been times where there's been a holding call and the Bucs have gone on ahead and gotten a first down, or they've continued to move the ball or put themselves in a position where they can at least get a field goal. So again, when you watch this game and you see that everybody's making their catches, Chris Godwin especially, this is the Chris Godwin I expected to see at the beginning of the season. And I'm glad that, they're finally figuring a way to get him involved in the game now.
This is funny. Oh, no, wait, catch a ball? What does that mean? Kadarius. God, Pat Mahomes, poor guy. But to your point, like earlier in the season, you were talking about the drops, the penalties. That was all happening beginning of the season. Mike Evans was dropping 1 or 2 a game, it seemed like. And it's like, what the hell's going on? Then he's starting to blow up and be the most consistent player I've ever seen. The true Mike Evans. I think I pissed his ass off. Like, he's like, why the hell am I dropping this? I'm way better than this. I deserve to prove what type of player I am. And he's doing that week in, week out. And then Chris Godwin gets frustrated 1 week. That's also good of the coaches talking. Listen, what are we doing? What do you do best? Let's figure out what we can do, because if something we're doing isn't working. Canales reading that, going with it. That's huge.
And I think this benefits Baker too, because he sees what Chris Godwin can do. Yeah. And he's like, okay, I need to get to him. And getting Chris Godwin involved gives him the confidence to go out and make some of the catches that we've seen him drop, throughout the season. But getting him more involved, it really motivates him to go out and do more and play hard. I'm not knocking his wife, but his wife is right. This guy busts his tail week in and week out. You got to get him involved, because I couldn't imagine running up and down the field and you're not getting hardly any targets. And, you want to win the game. You want to help your team. You want to contribute to them winning. So I think it's all important.
But I mean, also Flash Gordon was asking, he's wondering, how did they get Chris the ball more? I mean, look about it. Just 2 of the 10 catches were just the screen.
Yeah.
Right. And then a lot of them were just timing routes. If you look at what won us the game in Atlanta, it was a perfectly timed out route. Chris Godwin does his thing with great route running, and Baker lofted it to a space where it was opened up because of the concept. And then secondly, perfect timing on the route. If the timing's there, it's golden. And so that's part of Baker having to hit your wide receiver with timing. They had other things where they'd mess up, where it was a zone, he had to stop or keep going into a zone, and he didn't do it. But that's why if it's a timed route, we always say it with Baker, if it's his first read, he can hit it easily. It's when he has to hold on to the ball and start thinking a lot more. That's when he starts messing up.
So yeah, it's one of those things that's exciting for me, because we got Jacksonville next, right? I think Jacksonville is
at home.
At home. So it's exciting. I really believe, and I've believed this all through the season, the Bucs are in every single game this season. I don't see a team that's just like going to just blow the doors off of them if they go out and execute and play like we know they can.
You mean blow the doors off the Bucs, you mean?
Yeah, there's just aren't any teams that I see out there that could just go, that are just going to come in and dominate the Bucs. I think that they will be in every game. They've been pretty much in every game this season.
With that said, I mean, it's been a weird season, like across the NFL. Like, I mean, the Packers beat the Chiefs, they beat the Lions, beat the crap out of Lions on Thanksgiving, and then we beat the crap out of them in Lambeau.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it, even the 49ers game, we were somewhat competitive in that game entirely. Like, the offense moved the ball, and that's one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
If they just couldn't score when inside the 20. That's something they needed to fix, and they were fixing. So, I mean, I'm not saying we're on the par with the 49ers, but I'm just.
Well, we're in every game, and it's not like a 2018 Bucs team or something like, or 2019 Bucs team. It's a team that can, we've got, everything is lining up to where you could go out and be in every game.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of veterans on the team. There's a lot of continuity on the team. You have a good mixture of young guys, but they're not being asked to do too much. I mean, really the only guy that's really truly young is like Rashad White, Gate Otten, that's thrown into doing a lot. but they're being so consistent right now.
Oh, somebody's not happy.
Right?
Probably wants to co-host, so I totally get that.
Yeah, we'll see if that acts up. I may have to run.
Oh, no
You know,
worries, no worries. But just kind of getting back to it, I really hope that they can build off of this for next week. I mean, that's going to be a kind of a sneaky game right there. I watched the Jacksonville game. I don't know if you got to see any of it, and I think that that's going to be quite a challenge for the Bucs. Going into that game next week. But just kind of getting back to this game here, uh, Chase McLaughlin, we haven't mentioned his name. I haven't seen his name mentioned a lot, but what he's done, being a consistent kicker this year, the punt prince and what he's done. I mean, special teams is something that used to be a question mark for the Bucs, but it's been pretty, I'm been pleasantly surprised with what they've done this season.
I mean, usually kickers and punters don't get their name called unless they're doing something bad.
Yeah.
So they're doing their job so damn consistently well. And it's insane. Like McLaughlin doesn't miss. Like we got probably the best punter in the game.
Oh yeah.
You just keep knocking on wood, just hoping they keep up their end of the bargain, right? And he's making such hard kicks too.
Oh, I know. He is. And what was that one that ended up on the 2 or something like that?
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought you meant like McLaughlin, but
Yeah. No. The punt prince and what he did. I mean, it would Jake Camarda.
is that really a new nickname that's going on?
No, it's the punt prince. He's been the punt prince since last year. Me and KB go back and forth on that. And because you already got the punt god. I don't know who's kicking for now, but Jake Camarda is my guy.
I don't even think he's in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's just knock on wood. Like I was saying, I'm going to keep doing that every damn day because they're just so consistent. One other thing I wanted to say about the offense before jumping ship on that, like you were mentioning earlier again with Rashad White, but the consistency of staying with the run, I thought was huge. Also, they are just riding Rashad White, bell cow. Even though Chase Edmonds has showed the last game he can run, look at that. That's just saying this is our guy. We're going to run him until we can get some yards. I think that 4.2 yards per average. That's starting to go up. Used to be 2.7. Now it's 4.2. Like these are things I want to keep seeing. They're being stubborn with, but it's working, right? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it's getting better. Like Cody Mock had one massive block. Who actually scored? And I think it was on the 4th down play to spring Rashad White in. It was not a big alleyway, but those are doing better, a lot better.
Yeah. And just think about it. He's almost at 1,000 yards rushing. He's at 834 right now.
They're trying to give him that bonus.
Yeah. And again, when the season started, there were so many people that hated him and he's not good. And the Bucs needed, and people were already talking about the 2024 draft and who the Bucs need to get. So, it's just funny how the season's turned around and, they've been consistent and they've continued to work on the run. We may not have been happy with the play calls, but they're continuing to do it.
And that only helps out Baker Mayfield. I mean,
absolutely.
It helps any quarterback out. Like plus is really, I guess, critical on Baker because he has too many limitations in his game. I'm like, yeah, because the Browns were a really good running team, so that sprout him open. We're asking him to be a pass dominant offense. No one should truly be like that unless you're like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. No one's usually at that upper echelon, but Baker's right in the middle. He can he can run a team. So if we can give him any help from anywhere else, he can be a pretty good quarterback, in my opinion. And he showed, I'm not expecting this next week, but I'm expecting him to keep us in games and not cough the ball up because it could have been bad after that fumble.
Yeah, it really could have. I mean, that could have just been the momentum swing that the other team needed. So, again, they overcame that. Baker kept his confidence up, and those are the things that I like. But again, he's always been inconsistent. There will be times where he battled the media a lot in Cleveland, and there were times where they would call him out for inconsistent play. He'd go out and ball out, and then have a good game, and the next game, not so much, and then he'd come back and have another good game. But you just need to have that consistency throughout the season. That's kind of a thing, that you need. I mean, when you look at the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, I mean, you don't have too many game-changing quarterbacks, and the majority of your quarterbacks are, game managers for the most part. Very rare to get a quarterback that can just go out there and be that difference maker.
100%. But Gene, I gotta end it quick because of the boy. He's
All right.
But other than that, guys, thank you for being part of the show. Gene, thank you for jumping on for Pless.
All right, man.
Talked about the defense and a little bit more of Devin White, but hey, other than that, thank you for everyone being in the chat. If you're not haven't done it yet, hit the like button for us. We're gonna bring out a whole bunch of Baker Mayfield videos, clearly, because he did ridiculously awesome. Rashad White, Victory Monday. Let's get one of these. Woo! Well, let's get 3 more. Woo! Woo! All right, guys. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And with that said, until the next one.
All right, guys.